in the midst of a move, I think our household is so much more peaceful.
Hey everybody, we are live in Calgary, Alberta, Chamberlain Real Estate Group studios, and today we are here with Chandra.
Hi.
Hello, Chandra. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great.
Great.
Chandra is a past client of ours, and we've worked with her. She's actually worked with a bunch of the different agents in our office over the years.
Yeah. You, Rebecca, and Alex.
And Alex, yeah. And so I invited Chandra to come in and kind of talk about her recent changes and moves and kind of what's going on in her world. So why don't you give us a quick intro about you, who you are, your family, so everyone kind of understand where you're coming from.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm Chandra. I am married to Brent. We have 2 kids. Will is 10. JC is 5. We are busy.
Very
always.
busy.
Yeah, we're always busy. Our kids are both playing hockey. So we're a hockey family.
Nice.
And I work part-time. I'm a registered nurse that is lucky enough to have an office type job. I'm a transplant coordinator.
Oh, okay.
I did get redeployed to the ICU for a short amount of time earlier in the year, but back to my regular job, which I quite like.
Good?
It was fun. I say it was fun because for me it was to go see a bunch of people I used to work with and stuff and change it up. But we were fortunate it didn't go too sideways here. So it was good. And I have a sister and a nephew here in Calgary that we're very close with and see often. And that's our gig. We like to go mountain biking and stuff. So we've been busy. True. We've been keeping really busy.
And for those of you that are car freaks like myself who love cars, her husband used to work at, was it Ferrari?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And he I think he was telling me, but kind of bragging more than anything about how he's like, yeah, I got to go to Italy and drive the Ferrari. I'm like, oh my gosh, you drove $1 million car around.
Yeah, he's done some pretty
crazy
amazing things.
Stuff.
Yeah, if you like cars, that Brent's done a few, can talk for a good
stories.
Long time.
Good stories.
Yeah.
Well, that's not why we're here. That's not. But I'd like to be. Maybe next time. Time. But so let's dive in and talk a little bit about your journey, what you've done, and if you are watching live, we are live. So comment, say hi. If you know Chandra, say hi. Because I wonder if anyone who's watching knows you.
Well, I told 1 or 2 people, not too many.
Well,
we'll see how it goes.
If those 2 are watching, we're here. So why don't we jump in about, because you guys have bought and sold before.
We have. A few times.
I was going to say, how many times have you guys moved?
Wow. You're going to make me count on my fingers here.
Okay,
so I don't know. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, wow.
5.
So this is the 5th move?
Okay. Well, I think so. I think this was the 5th. We'll say this was the 5th, and then I've sold my parents' house as well. Yeah. So 6 times. And then my sister's just doing the process as well. You guys are helping her with hers. Yeah. And that's going really well for her as well. So
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you've moved a lot.
I have.
So from someone who has made transitions and made moves, what were some of the fears or things that you were concerned about walking into this transaction?
This one here.
Yeah.
So this one here was a bit tricky because the market, it was hard. Like I watched the market a bit. It's a bit of a hobby, but a
bit is an understatement.
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. But it was harder to predict what was going to happen because we all know the economy wasn't so hot at the beginning of or in the springtime. Yeah. And people didn't look like people were really moving, but then all of a sudden they were. Yeah. So I was scared. I was like, I want to move, but I don't know if my house is going to sell.
Yeah.
So that was scary. But then it kind of looked like it was just happening.
No, it's true.
Right. And then it was like, but are people going to see the value in my home and what my area has to offer and stuff like that? So there was fears there. And then fears of leaving a great street that I was on. We had developed where we were in Tuscany. Yeah. And that is a village all in itself. And especially our street, we have our kids can go out and play. Everyone knows them. They know us. We know them. Look out for each other. So.
And how long have you been in that place?
Since 2014.
So what, 5-6 years?
5-6 years, yeah. Okay. But the kids go outside and play, and you know, it's easy. Yeah.
And it's funny. I know for even our own family, like we've been in our place around 5-6 years, and it's around, and it's weird because I think it takes sometimes 3 to 5 years to actually build relationship and trust with your neighbors. So leaving that, if there's a lot of good neighbors with friends of your kids, that kind of stuff, that can be hard, right?
Yeah, and especially when the social circles are a little bit tight, right?
Totally.
Like right now, like and the world's everybody's world's a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to take away any more of that socialization, right?
Totally.
And so or put any more stress on your kids than they're already going through, and on ourselves, really. So but so those were some fears for sure.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
And just, you know, Shauna Moss says you're doing great.
That'd be my sister. So thanks for watching.
Hello, Shauna. So I think, I mean, those are real fears. I mean, and it's real stuff that comes into it. So so you've worked with us in the past, and I believe you were referred to us. Was that how it was?
Yeah. So Courtney Jewell.
Yeah.
So I worked with her in the ICU for many years. She's lovely. She's my photographer, our family photographer.
She's a great photographer.
She really is. She is. And so I think we were working a night shift sometime, talking about, I was telling her how we want to move, and yet for the reasons that we wanted to move then.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, you should go with the Chamberlain Group. And I was like, oh, well, who are these people? And so I called you to come over, and you're like, okay, I'll come over. Do you remember what I asked you?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
I am putting you on the spot.
As soon as you say it, I'm sure I'll remember.
Yeah, I said, why should I pick you over another very popular realtor in our...
Oh, what did I say?
So this was in 2014, and you said, well, you could pick that person. Very well known, definitely has a lot of clients and a big market, but the way I will market your property and using social media and the new ways of doing things will make a difference. I know what I'm doing. We know what we're doing, the new ways of doing things, and who's going to buy your house and look at your house in this neighborhood. It'll make a difference. And my house sold in under 8 hours. So
it did.
Yeah, it did.
And
it went super fast.
Yeah, and actually I remember that conversation now sitting there. Yeah. Because it's and I remember who we were talking about.
Yeah, and you were kind of like, you could go that way, but you know, and I think it was a bit of you were a little bit like, oh, okay, that's a question.
Good question. Good question. So all of you that are agents out there, this is, I mean, if you're watching that's a great understanding to hear. It's I think that the big thing with that is really knowing the audience and knowing who the buyer is going to be. And what's interesting too, and this is getting into this whole side of it, I think what's really interesting is typically the person who's going to buy your house is who you were when you bought your house.
Right.
Like that real.
Makes sense.
Right? Yeah. Because the house that you just bought, you are who those people were.
Totally.
When they bought it.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So
pretty much. Yeah.
It's an interesting kind of place to be. So.
Yeah.
Whoa, man. Well, I'm glad I won.
Yeah, you did.
That's good.
No, you did.
I like winning.
Yeah, well, naturally.
Naturally. So then out of all of the options that you have for agents, what made you decide or think that you wanted to come back to us? What kept you in our world, essentially?
Well, you kept me.
Okay, cool.
Quite frankly, the Chamberlain Group kept us as clients. So that was 2014.
Yeah.
But I remained your client, even though I hadn't bought or sold anything in that time. You guys maintained a relationship with me. I didn't actively maintain a relationship with you guys, but you actively maintained a relationship with us. I mean, it's the little things though, right? Like I get a birthday card with a Starbucks, you know, like I get a free, you guys buy me coffee on my birthday. You guys, you know, would send Christmas stuff at Christmas. You invite us to your events every year, even though I don't think we've ever gone because we're always busy, but we might, one of these, now that we don't need a babysitter for everything,
it's true.
Right? Like, I mean, we did have a baby in between time here and stuff, like life's been a bit nuts, but you guys made us part of your community.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other thing, but this also ties in, is that you guys are like a one-stop shop. Right. It's like when I knew that when we were either going to sell this house that we were in, or we're going to renovate it. Right. But regardless, you guys would have the network of people I required to sell my house or renovate it. Yeah. And you would tell me the truth either way.
Yeah.
So I guess those are the reasons. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's,
and thank you for sharing that.
Well, and that is it, right? Like, and I mean, and you're honest, right? Too. Like, I'm a pretty good judge of character.
I'd say you are.
I think so. I think so. But like, there was never any question about those sort of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. No, that's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So with those fears that you had about kind of leaving your current place, the economy, the market, all that kind of stuff, now that you're in your new place, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Something like that?
Like 24th or 25th of August, whatever that is. Yeah. I'm losing track myself, but I think almost 3.
Do you know someone named Matthew Isaac?
I do not.
You do not? Oh,
Matt Isaac. I hope I don't.
Well, he would have been one of the network people. That
okay.
He just said, and a great network it is.
Oh, there you go.
It is a great network. It's good. And so, but when you're making that transition from the things of where you were to where you're going with the economy, all these things tied together, what would you say helped you, and what we did made the biggest difference in this specific transition during this pandemic? Is such a big word, but
whoa, well, I mean, it is what it is. It's there. Yeah, it's there. I mean, it's there. Yeah. What did you, one specific thing or all? Well, so Rebecca, you know what? Yeah. So this specific time with all of my life events and stuff, or our family's life events that have gone on, is specifically quite stressful. My threshold for handling it was a little on the lower side. So Rebecca really, I think, handled a good brunt of some of the back and forth with the other realtor in selling our place. Yeah. And really only brought me in when it was super necessary and let me stay out of some of it, because she knew me well enough to know what I needed to be needed in my headspace and what I didn't need in my headspace. So that was super helpful. And also just really taking care of the stuff. Like, I didn't have to worry about calling for a real property report. I didn't have to worry about making sure this is at the lawyer, that's at the lawyer, this, you know what I mean? Like, that's just taken care of. Yeah. Which is great.
Totally.
Right. Or like, you guys have a handyman that you can call for, like, like I was on vacation. She made those phone, or her assistant made the phone calls for me. Right. Yeah. Like, it's just easier because there's a lot to do. Right.
There is a lot. And I think, that also can, cause pause for some people when they're making a transition too. Yeah. And I think it doesn't matter who you're working with. If you're working with someone to make a move, like, find out how they can help you, because I think that can make that process simpler. For sure.
For sure. Yeah. It's moving is never a small undertaking. Yeah. No matter what your life situation is, but it's, if you have somebody doing some of that work for you, I think it can really help.
Totally.
Yeah. Because it's not something, unless you do it for a living, I don't think, like, it's not something I do every day. Yeah. Right. Like, I don't know how to fast track that stuff. There's other things I know how to do quite quickly. People are like, how do you know how to do that? Right. But that's that's your guys' expertise. Right. Yeah. So there you go.
No, it's true. Well, take me to the moment when you realized that you found the next house. How did you feel? Like, was there more nerves? Was it more excitement? How did you feel when you found that property and that we were helping you through that process? Because,
So I bought my friend's house.
You did.
I bought my friend's house. So it was funny because I called and talked to you, and I had Rebecca come over, and we're like, do we love it or list it? Is basically what we're like. I'm like, my house is too small. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do. I can never, like, my kids aren't teenagers, but they're going to be huge. And like, well, my son is for sure. I'm certain he'll be at least 6 feet tall. Yeah. And my daughter's going to be tall, and they're going to have friends over. We're not going to fit around my kitchen table. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm telling Rebecca all the things I would need to do to my house
Yeah.
to make it livable. And we're like talking about what that renovation would look like and cost, and just helping me get like names and stuff, people to call to come over. And then I went to my friend's house who had just listed, and we're walking around. I'm like, I'm just going to buy this one.
Yeah.
This is so much easier. Seems so much easier. And I did. Yeah. So I was like, Brent, we have to go see this house. And so we went and looked at it, and then, or I called Rebecca. I'm like, so we're going to go look at this house. And she's like, well, I'm like, do you want to come?
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, do you want me to come? I'm like, well, yeah. And so we went, and she was like, yeah, like she could tell that it was the right house for us, based on everything I had told her about what the changes we would need to make in our current home.
And not only just like the right house for you, but it was like she came home and she was like, this is an amazing house.
Yeah,
like she said to me, is like, if Chandra doesn't buy it, I don't want to move out to Tuscany, but it's an amazing house. Like she was almost saying to me, like, I think we should move. And I was like, what are we doing? Because it was such a phenomenal layout is what she said.
It really is. Like it's just so much space. Like so in the midst of a move, I think our household is so much more peaceful. We have enough space.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, we just have more space. We have more room. Everything has a place. There's not every hallway has like 50 things in it, like trying to fit in.
Yeah.
And everybody like my daughter has room to watch her, like, because they're almost 5 years apart, right? So my son wants to be on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And my daughter wants to watch, she's a little older than Peppa Pig, but she like maybe Spirit, like a horse. And so she wants to jump around and play toys. And so that wasn't driving in our old house, but
can't combine those two.
It wasn't working. Yeah. But I don't necessarily want to be in part of all of that all the time. So there was no place to, like, no downtime. There was never any downtime. But now we have that. Yeah. And they were kept on always wanting to be in my bathroom. And so we don't have that anymore. So we have more space, and it's more peaceful for sure. Yeah. It's just cool. A more peaceful family now. Yeah. It's amazing, actually. Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who has seen us around, maybe talked with us or our team, and is kind of wavering or considering making a move up during this time? I mean, not everyone is in a hard situation in Calgary. There's a lot of people who are, but there's also a lot of people who are going, wait a minute, if I'm working at home 2 days a week and 3 days in the office, and we need more space, we need this, like, we are good, we are okay, we're safe, we're making a change. We did a video last week where we were talking about the people moving out of the city, and that's increased quite a bit. So there's a lot of people making transitions right now. What would you say to someone who is walking into that very similar conversation you had with yourself in the spring? What would you say to that person about, one, the actual making the change, and two, how we were able to help you with that?
I would say make the change. For me, it's just, we're all spending more time at home. Yeah. So having more space and loving where you live is super important. And your atmosphere around you really plays such a huge role in your well-being. And if your house is if your household, your four walls, those rooms, if they're adding more stress to your life, that's a 3-week job, really. Like, honestly, like, that can be changed really quickly, and it does change. It can uplift you a lot. A change of scenery does a world of good. I think there is lots of properties out there that are amazing. There's a lot of, especially, in that making that upward movement. Well, even I think the lateral movements too. There's a lot of nice houses there's a lot of nice properties out there. Like I said, like we said at the beginning, it's a little bit more than a hobby. I think might be a bit of a problem how much I'm on MLS.
You're like an MLS stalker.
Like I love houses, right? So I'm always looking, like there's just so many amazing places to live. And why should they be with you guys? It's for all the reasons, right? Like I think you guys genuinely want to help people have a better life. Right. And the investment isn't like you're invested in your client's well-being. It's not about the money. It's not about, you know, oh, hey, I'm the best realtor in town, whatever. It's just, you guys don't have that vibe. It's just not it's not how you guys are. It's not who you are. And you make like you're friends for life. Like, essentially, like I remember Brent and I saw you and Alex at a concert one time, right? I was like, oh, hey guys, how's it going?
I was actually thinking as we're talking, I'm like, what concert was that again?
It was at Grey Eagle.
We were just in the intermission.
Anyways, like it was I don't know, it's a different relationship than I think I've had with other. It's a very different relationship than I've had with other realtors. Yeah, I mean, I referred my sister to you. Yeah, that says something, right?
Yeah, thank you for that.
Right, and she's a single mom.
Yes.
So she's a single mom, you know, and that's a different dynamic too. But that, you know, that she's a different thing, and she's found it really good as well. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is great, and I know there's a bunch of people that have watched live, and so on that note, thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or comments about the market, about anything at all with real estate, just send us a direct message. You can comment here on this thread. We'll be watching it. But thank you again.
Oh, thanks
Chandra.
for having me.
Yeah, it was great having you in.
Super fun.
Great seeing you. And being brave going live.
Oh, wow. I'll talk.
I'll talk.
I'm a talker.
You're a talker. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And that's what we have. So enjoy your day.
Okay.